Hello, we are live. We are live. Someday I won't say that. So, going live is such a lesson in letting go, I have to say, on a regular basis. Just gonna start with that. How are we today? What's going on? What's happening? What's new? Do tell. How are we? What's happening? Comments. Okay. So, just want to say, I almost said good morning. It's not morning, but we're going to talk about getting stuff done. Woo! We're going to talk about getting your screenplay or whatever. This will work for anything. We are applying it to writing a screenplay right now because our finished mastermind is still open. If anybody would like to join. So we are. Well, hello, Joy. Nice to see you. So our finished mastermind is open right now. Woohoo! And people are coming in and finishing their screenplays, and it's super duper cool. And if you want to know more about it, we covered that last week. So yeah, we sent it out via email too. You can take a look. And Doug is here as well. Woohoo! You can say hello. Hey, Doug, what's going on? So finished is about finishing your screenplay. We're just doing a internal for insiders only, just for you. We're going to be doing that. So that's what we have going on right now. Is finished is open because it's going to close in about a week because we're going to have a master class soon for reading. So it's coming. So yeah, that's going on. So in finished. Is that right? Hang on. Let's take a look, see at that. I know that's what I put up there. I don't think there's a 2020 on the end of that. I think that's wrong. So I think it's just, okay. So today we're going to talk about, I can't multitask. I've said this before, and now I'm demonstrating it. We're going to talk about the 5 ingredients to getting your screenplay done. And this will also work. What is it? Okay, there's a 2020. Yay. Should trust myself. A little lesson in that today. Well, lots of lessons today. It is 2020. So the gang's all here. Woohoo! So there is the link. It is in the chat as well. And basically, we have a course that has the elements of writing a screenplay. So it has all the things like inciting incident and the tools that you need to know, what some character arc, all the like nuts and bolts. And then there's an entire other course called the Look Method, Wake Up and Write, that is 90 days of getting you productive. So that's part of it as well. And this piece that we're pulling out today is actually part of the course part. And so part of the finished writing your screenplay. And then there's also, so we have that, and that's one thing. And you can just do that if you want, do it on your own, take the course, go through the productivity thing on your own. Or we also have a mastermind. If you want to join the mastermind, you can do that. And then the mastermind meets actually on Zoom together, and we look at each other's pages and we read things out loud, and there's just all kinds of exercises. Really fun group. And people are finishing their screenplays, finding writing partners. Can't say enough good things about the community. And we meet twice a month, and we just get stuff done. So when you click on that, it will take you to a page where it outlines everything that's in it to both things, and you can just join us, and we would love to have you. But today, I'm going to go through and share one of the many, many lessons that are in there. Are there hundreds? There's a lot of lessons in there. So I'm going to join one of the tools that we have in there that is kind of 5 ingredients, not kind of, it is 5 ingredients to finishing anything, but especially a screenplay. So without further ado, what's that from? What's that from? I might need to this. No. This. Let me see something here. Oh, there we go. That's what I need. That's what we want. That's there. Now we're cooking with gas. That I know what that's from, but what's without further ado? That's just something people say, or is there a thing to that? So here you have it. Can you see it? So that is the lesson, and you can get this handout for your very own. It's free. If you go to hollywoodgatekeepers.net/write. There you have it. You can download this handout for yourself because, as you can see, on the second page has writing prompts just for you, writer, so that you can actually write about these things. And I see a typo instantly when I look over. You can write out these things. So let's talk, shall we? I love baking. I'm not a big cook, but I love to bake. You should see what I do at Christmas. Doug knows. Chocolate chip cookies, 4 kinds of fudge, sugar cookies, Rice Krispie squares, something else. Oh, chocolate chip cookies. Did I say chocolate chip cookies? Yeah. I love baking. It relaxes me. I think it's fun. So there you have it. For the low, low price of $0, you can have this handout. Can you afford that? And we have a payment plan of $0. So funny. So when you're baking, lots of sweets, and I'm not that big of a, I used to be, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I can tell you every candy in the world, and I'm not one, I don't like when they change a candy. If I wanted, I'm trying to think, if I wanted a Crunch bar that was white chocolate, I would buy a different thing. Crunch bar is milk chocolate with Rice Krispie squares. If I wanted, it's gonna be like, that would be a Kit Kat. If I wanted, okay, I could go on for days, but maybe. I do love sweets. Sweets don't love me. As I've gotten older, I've gotten less. I don't like the way they make me feel. Let's put it that way. I like the way they taste. And even now I've kind of gotten away from them tasting because I can instantly think about how I'm going to feel later. So it's not the same. But every once in a while, red vines, actually my very favorite candy, in case you were wondering, is a Look bar. They're hard to find. Terrible for your teeth. One of my faves. And 0 bars, which I don't even know that you can, they have them here in Canada. So anywho, you guys come to my house for Christmas. I usually post pictures because it's like Christmas explodes. So when you're baking, there's certain things that you have that you put together. And so we're kind of going to look at it in that way. So like in baking, you wouldn't bake a cake without a cake pan. You can't put your cookie batter on the rack in the oven. You need a pan to put I mean, I guess you could. It'd be kind of a mess. And then you'd be like licking the rack and burning your tongue. You'd have these stripes. You need a cake pan, is what I'm saying. So what tools do you need? And this particular thing to get it done is the tools goes on the list of things you need to get it done. The tools also go on the list of things that can distract you and hold you up. So pick your tool, pick it, go with it. So often, and this is true of anything, it's really true of online businesses because they're always coming up with new things. And now I'm seeing this a little bit even in the writing world as they come up with new writing apps and people are trying to, I actually was, did you do that too, Doug? I think you did, right? Like as a reader, they were trying to put together like an iPad was kind of like a laptop / iPad-y thing that was just for reading screenplays. That's how serious it was. And I was one of their test markets because I read so many screenplays. So it was interesting. It was like, I got a computer and they gave me that. And it came with all the software. It was interesting. So they are always kind of, people are thinking the infamous they. And if you have an idea of how it might work better, invent that. But you can spend a lot of time like the Look bar. I never even put that together. So classic. That's really funny. The Look bar is my favorite candy and my favorite way of life is to look. I've just discovered that if you look at your life, it's much easier to change it than if you ignore your life. Wow, that's really funny. And I was born on March 4th, which has already been a joke in my life because I'm always March 4th. So yeah. I've had roles, many roles that were director of advancement, director of just moving forward, looking forward. Anyway, no, that was total, like I didn't even put that together until this moment. Oh, so good. Okay. Just like that dark chocolate nougaty goodness. So don't get hung up on your tool. Pick one, go with it, write your screenplay. If you find that you don't like it, you can always switch tools later, but don't spend a lot of time figuring out, spinning about that. And then when you bake anything, typically, first thing, if you're looking on, well, I don't really use the box, but if you are baking something like that, the very first thing it says is, or recipe, let's do it that way. It says preheat your oven, right? Get the baking spot ready. So just like your place where you're going to write, get it ready, put pictures up that inspire you, have a little spot so that you know that this is my writing spot. And so when you walk by it throughout the day, might even inspire ideas. It's like, it becomes this really cool thing that you can have in your life where it's like, you can see this is where work's going to happen. I'm going to bake up these ideas and it's going to be great. And that's my spot. Have your writer's chair or whatever it might be. Like, this is my cozy little writer's chair. Or if it's a spot on my porch, whatever it might be, like try to find a place that, so you're not spending a lot of time. Again, it cuts out some time. You're not spending a lot of time like, figuring out where you're going to write in the moment in that day. That's already taken care of. You always go to the same place. Like, cut that decision making out. The more decision making you can cut out on the daily, like make the decision for the tool, make the decision where you're going to write every day. And then you can leave your writing materials and whatever you need, like your research things or the books that you might need or whatever for your story. That can all be in one space. You can put your vision board that we've talked about. You can put your vision board up there. It can be this like place that you go, and it just really takes out, the guessing game of what I'm going to do today. And I speak from experience. I have a hard time with that, as opposed to, and I talked about this on Instagram today, but back in the day when I had a tiny little apartment that I was sharing with a bunch of people, I had my little tiny space and that's what I had and that's where I went. Now I have more options. And so sometimes it's analysis paralysis, and it's like the more options that you have, the more overwhelming it can be. So try to find a spot. And if someday your writing spot on the weekends is out in nature somewhere, awesome. But just get a routine going in terms of where that space is, what it, create it. There's some tips on the list you can read. And then this secret ingredient is actually a whole nother training. And that is the secret ingredient of knowing your values. And this is a huge thing that I've only really just started to learn. And it's part of what my coach, Evan Pagan, coaches, and his wife, Annie Lala, they dive really deep into this. And some of you have attended their reInvent program that we've invited you to. And there's all kinds of things that you can do with them. And they talk about your values. And if you don't know what your values are, if you've never taken the time, and we're going to do a whole training on this because it's so important and yet so not talked about. This should be in school, like in high school. It would be really a great thing to learn in high school, is understanding what your values are. Because if you say, and this is why diets don't work often. It's why, we'll give an example. It's why our health can falter, because we might say that one of our values is being healthy, and yet we eat Lick bars all day long. It's not very healthy. So that means you're not living by your value. If you want to know what your values are really subconsciously, look at what you did today and yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. And so if you value something and you don't see that in your daily life, then that's not one of your values. It's not, your values are your actions. It's not your words or your thoughts. It's what you do every day that determines your values. Now you can change those though, and you can say, you know what? I need to make family my value. Like we might say that family is our value, but we're spending all our time somewhere else. Then you're not valuing your family over the time that you're spending. So if you do want certain things to be your value, and if you want writing your screenplay or finishing your screenplay or writing in general to be a value that you have, then you can pick, and usually we operate with about 5 different top values. We kind of, and we'll do this in the whole training about values you move towards and values you move away from, and it's different for everybody. And if you can determine what the values are that you want in your life, then you can start looking and seeing like, oh, if I really do want this, if I want to be wealth, and a lot of people, it's so interesting because I can say being wealthy could be one of your values. And there's all kinds of traps with that, right? Like so many people go, well, that's not a good value. And really, in my opinion, there are good and bad elements to every value. It's how you approach it. So if wealth is one of your values and you really want to make money, but you're not spending your day at all, ever figuring out what you're going to do that, then you're not living that value. So you can put wealth as a value, for example, or health. And then every day you go, what am I doing today to live that value? Am I, exercising, or am I figuring out a way to make more money? Or what is it? Am I taking some money mindset things to get rid of the reason that I think I'm not valuing wealth is because wealthy people are greedy and evil. Like if you have that belief about that value, and that's what the value training will be, is like, we'll go through different values and what are your beliefs about these values. And we can be in conflict with ourselves where we want something, but we really have a belief system that thing is not available. And so knowing what your values are and knowing that is the key to getting things done. So if your values are not congruent with what you want, then you're not going to get what you want, what you say you want, because you're not living your daily values towards that end. And that is the secret ingredient to finishing your screenplay. It's the secret ingredient to having a relationship that works, is valuing that relationship and finding ways to show that value, to act on that value. So that's really the secret ingredient that, to me, and we're going to do a whole training on it because it's so fascinating. And then what is your recipe? Like, we always like to add a little something. Like, I have a little secret that I do to my chocolate chip cookies that make them different and lovely. So what are the things that you add? What are your secret ingredients? And what are the little twists that you have? And this is, again, kind of coming back to values, but this comes back to more about knowing yourself. So if you're someone who likes to write in the middle of the night, you could honor that. It might be hard. Some of these become difficult when you live, with other people and you're accommodating each other. But this is about having a crucial conversation with someone to say, hey, this is really important to me. And I'm finding that I get a lot more done if I can get up early, or I can stay up late, or I can have this time, or whatever. And then you need to honor whatever commitment that you come across, in that way. If you say to your family, I need an hour and a half every day, I need that. And so can we work together? And what can I do to help you with something that you need? And you do some sort of compromise. But then if you say, I need to write from 3 to 4:30 every afternoon, and you have people that are counting on you for things, then it needs to become at 4, whatever, what did I say, 3 to 4, at 4:30, you actually stop, even if the great idea comes at 4:25. It's like you have to stick to your guns and you have to use that time wisely and get started at your 3 o'clock and whatever. So you can honor that. You can do the things that, so I'm seeing, like, I don't know, I'm sorry, I can't see who that is, but listen to music, Facebook user. So it says StreamYard.com/Facebook. When you click on that, you can add it. So there's all kinds of knowing your values, your vision board, stick that in there, like whatever. Listening to music could be a good one, unless you find that you're singing the songs instead of actually writing. So you got to just make sure that you can focus with that. But what are the things that really make it, meaningful to you? And then the taste test along the way. And that just is talking about, like, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments. Is like enjoying the journey. Like, one of my favorite parts about baking, again, is like, especially when there's kids around and you want to lick the spoon, or, you can lick the spoon and you get the bowl, or whatever. Like, I think there's something so sweet about that in many, no pun intended, or maybe intended, but it's like enjoying that journey. Like, get into your space and be like, I'm a writer, like, be excited about the fact, because you're actually honoring the thing that so many people say they want to do but never do. You're actually in there doing it. And by being in there and actually doing it, it makes a big difference in your life, right? So enjoy the journey. Sit down like you're having lunch with your characters. You're going to sit down. We're going to allow them to talk today. We're going to have fun. What do you got for me? And throw your characters in the minivan and take them to lunch to your little spot in your house. It's all metaphorical. So sit down with your characters and enjoy it. Sometimes we make it such a grind, and it's a choice. You can make it fun. even if your characters are horrifying. It's like, plus if you do have characters that are horrifying, or if you are getting out or you're writing drama, and it's still, there's still a catharsis that happens. There's still this release that happens when you're writing scenes, and it can be this whole experience, and you can let go of some of your own angst because you're getting it out on the page. And there's just, it can be so freeing, and it can really help with so many things, emotional pain, physical pain. Just put it on the page, right? And there's so much of that right now. We have several trainings. So when you're watching these, they're on I see people on the YouTube channel. We're both on YouTube and on Facebook. And you can go back, and we have a whole writing off steam and what to do to when you're frustrated, and how can you pour that onto the page. And so, use these things to do a little taste test along the way, and have fun with it, and play with it, and, experience your life. We spend so much time like being nostalgic about the past and worrying about the future, when tomorrow or next month we'll be thinking about that we were in here in this moment, and this is cool. Like these sessions are so fun, and it's like we can really revel in that and know, look what I did today, and it's super fun, and have fun in that moment, as opposed to like, oh, when am I going to get it done? Well, I should have. Oh, whatever. All of that we do forward and back, and really just loving the present moment. Looking, and I swear, the look bar becomes a whole other thing now. Look at your look bar. So great. So we did a little handout. We did a, what do you call this? I was going to say addendum. We did a second part of the handout, so that we asked you these tools, so that even if you've written a screenplay in the past, like as you go, you can look at what has worked for you and what hasn't worked for you, and you can pick the things that work and let go of the rest. And that is another thing, is we often go, well, that didn't really work last time, but I'll just try it again. It's like, why do we do that? So it's, we have this handout now. So every time you either sit down to write, or whenever you finish a project, you can sit down and go like, okay, and if it's not working, this can get you out of writer's block. So I would answer these questions, write about them a little bit, so that then when you are struggling, you can come back and remind yourself, oh, what are the tools that I want? What are the things that will help me? And, have a little brainstorming session with yourself to those things that will help you get things done, so that in those moments when you're struggling, you can go back and be like, right, on a day that I was feeling good and knew I wanted to do it, I sat down, I made this plan. Now you can come back to it. You can have it. I highly recommend that you get some kind of journal, notebook, whatever, and be printing these out and using these trainings. And when you go to hollywoodgatekeepers.net/write, when you go there, you will see there are a ton of trainings on that page and on our YouTube channel for writing. So I recommend you just, take some time, create a folder on your desktop, or print them out, or whatever you need, and just start printing these suckers out and create a plan for yourself. We're trying to provide as many tools as we can to help you with that. So we have all of these tools. Yes, it absolutely. I love this. You're so smart, Ms. Shri. Yep, it is a game changer to claim even this half hour as an hour invested in improving your skill set. Absolutely. And just expanding your mind, and growing, and having some community, and high-fiving each other, and being like, I'm here for you, and talking about silly, fun look bars. And like, there is, as treading water as it can feel, it's really not. It's a step forward, and it's a step towards something that you want. Just saying. It can be very much a step forward into something that you want. And so that's why we do these free trainings. We have a ton of free trainings. Join us in homeroom every morning, where we get together and work just for fun together. Awesome. Get your day started. We have a lot of these free things. We also have this course where you can sign up, and it'll walk you through. There's a lot of tools like this in the Look program part of it. This will be in the finish part, which is taking you through things to finish your screenplay. We break it down into getting started, all the things to help you come up with ideas and how to outline or use their like cards or whatever it might be to kind of get you started. And then we talk about Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. And then you have the whole Look method, so that you can really dive in and be productive and get it done. And I think it will help. Exactly. I think it will help to get things that we want, right? And just, knowing your values and knowing what you want, that's one of the big steps. So we'd love to have you join us if you want. Again. If you want to come in to finish, we'd love to have you there. There's the link that you can join us in there. It will be open just for about another week. And then we're diving back into reading. So we always take this break at Happy Half New Year. We talk about writing for a little while. And then at the beginning of the year, we talk about writing for a little while. And then the rest of the time, we are focused on the reading process. So that is our MO right now that we do here. So happy to have you guys here. Let us know if there's other topics that you would like to see, or if there's anything else you'd like us to cover. We are on it. Look at that. Oh, look at this. Yay. Love to see that. Oh, God, love them. Print them out. Put a notebook together. Absolutely. And then she's averaging 2 pages of script per 15-minute session. She'll be done with her screenplay. Just saying. So come on into Homeroom. I don't know that I have a banner for that, which is hollywoodgatekeepers.net/homeroom. And join us in there. And we're in there every single morning, 8:30 Pacific, 9:30 Mountain, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. And we just, for 20 minutes, you can do 20 minutes. So for 20 minutes, and if you can't do it with us, put your own group together. It's not hard. And we just work together for 20 minutes. Highly recommend that you hop in there. It really, really, it just jumpstarts the day in a great way. And so that can be your little oven, the homeroom oven. And then join us and finish, because we're having a blast in there and you can finish your screenplay. Cool. You guys are the best. I'm going to go read some coverages now. Talk to you soon. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Bye. Bye.